Now, are there any tips that you have to the directors listening out there in the audience on how to properly work with an editor? Because there's a way to do it, and there's not a way to do it, and how to become a partner with that person, and he or she is your creative partner in this, because you're essentially, as the editor, rewriting the movie. That's the last draft of the film.
Well, I have a preferred way, but I'm not saying this is what the director should do. The director needs to do what works for her. Sometimes it does mean that he or she sits next to me and watches every cut that I make. It's not my preferred way.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, my preferred way is that, and this might not happen on the first go-around. You might need to work on a couple of projects with the director. But my preferred way is that the director goes off, gives me the footage. We have a very broad discussion about what the film is about, what's the intent, what's the vision, what's the point of view. And I'll keep that in mind. I'll read the script, and I throw the script out, and I start cutting the scene. And then whenever I see problems, when I feel like, oh, I need to shape the performance, I need to punch up the script, I need to pull back on maybe some stuff that's very obvious, that's overwritten, I need to remove this. I'd like to already in that first pass give it my best shot and really tell the story the way that I see it and pitch it back to the director. And then the position shifts. Once that first cut is done, where sort of I had my editor's cut, then I become the listener, and it's all about figuring out what the director wants and helping him or her to get there. But having said that, that's a shortened process where it's really important for the director to be part of this process of finding the film. So sometimes you actually have to show everything that was shot, put in every line, put everything out there so that the director can see, oh, this might not be working as I thought it would be. To shortchange that process can sometimes delay things because you have to go back. So I'm cutting a feature right now, first-time director, first time we're collaborating on it. Luckily, he was able to have somebody cut the feature exactly the way that it was done in the script while he was shooting it. And then we looked at this cut together, and then we could have within 2 days, we could figure out how we're going to restructure the film and how we're going to change certain things. Like there's a certain setup that just doesn't work in my point of view, and the director agreed, and we need to cut around it. We need to set it up differently. And so when I get to cut this now, I can immediately take more liberty. And I mean, I love to immediately go in there and try and fix things.
And so you would agree that you should do an assemble cut of literally what the script says first?
You should do it if you're working with a director for the first time and you're really finding that relationship. Mm-hmm. You can cut some corners if you already have goodwill and trust built in. And like with Mark Webber, we've worked on 3 films together. At this point, he doesn't even need to see certain things, why I made certain choices. He trusts you. He just wants to see what if it's working on the screen right now. That's all he needs to know. Mm-hmm. And then we do go back into detail at certain things where he feels like, oh, there was something else here, or this isn't quite working for me. Let's go back and dig in. But at the beginning, yes, absolutely. Show the process, show the assembly cut with everything in it.